Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating. We're setting the stage to uncover the actionable lifestyle habits of the world's longest living people. Seriously, if you've ever wondered why some people seem to just have boundless energy and this crazy zest for life well into their 90s and even past 100, you're exactly in the right place. We're going to explore a really incredible Japanese concept that bridges the gap between your everyday habits and ultimate deep fulfillment.
So let's dive right in. I want you to think about this. Are you living your life's true purpose? Or are you kind of just stuck in a daily routine? It's a pretty heavy question, isn't it? So many of us wake up, drag ourselves to a job that totally doesn't ignite our passion, and just go through the motions. We feel stuck in this unfulfilling cycle, right? Completely lacking a clear, driving life goal. Look, if you've ever felt that subtle emptiness or a bit of anxiety about what you're actually doing with your life, you're definitely not alone. But the good news? There's a highly structured way to break right out of that cycle.
And the answer lies in one really powerful word: ikigai. This is a beautiful Japanese concept that literally translates to the reason for living. Or, quite simply, it's the reason you jump out of bed every single morning. But what's truly mind-blowing is that this isn't just some fluffy philosophy. Scientific research has actually shown that having this clear purpose, having your ikigai, prevents the development of inflammation-causing genes in your body. It quite literally physically slows down the cellular aging process. Crazy, right? Your mind's purpose dictates your body's health. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with the Japanese secret of ikigai, figure out exactly how to find yours, uncover the physical secrets of a super long life, look at logotherapy and mental resilience, and finally wrap the whole shebang up with the 10 core rules of ikigai.
All right, Section 1, the Japanese secret, ikigai. Let's get right into the science of purpose.
To really get the science behind this, we got to look specifically at the people of Okinawa, Japan. These folks hold the World Health Organization record for life expectancy. They boast some of the highest concentrations of centenarians, meaning people living past 100 anywhere on the globe. And their secret weapon? It's not some magic pill. It's a deeply ingrained cultural understanding of purpose. Having a clear goal is basically a biological superpower. It inspires activity, slashes stress, and slows down cell aging. And listen, your purpose doesn't have to be some massive world-changing endeavor. Actually, it can be as simple as cooking a deeply nourishing meal for your family, tending to a gorgeous garden, or finally passing a difficult exam. As long as it's a goal that keeps you actively moving forward with joy, it is doing the hard biological work of keeping you young.
Moving right along to Section 2, how to find your ikigai. Let's look at the 4 intersections that make up the blueprint to finding your specific purpose. So, pinpointing your ikigai? It requires some pretty deep introspection based on 4 absolutely critical questions. First off, what do you love doing? Like, what absorbs you so entirely that you literally forget what time it is? Second, what are you naturally good at? Think about your innate skills. Third, what can you get paid for? Because, hey, we still got to survive in the modern world, right? And fourth, what does the world actually need? How can your specific actions solve a problem for other people? Answering these 4 questions with total, absolute honesty is the only way to prevent living a life that ultimately feels incomplete.
Now, this is where it gets really cool. When you map all these out, you start seeing how they naturally intersect. It's kind of like a giant puzzle coming together. When you combine what you love with what you're good at, boom, you find your passion. Combine what you're good at with what pays you, you get your profession. What pays you plus what the world needs, that equals your vocation. And what the world needs combined with what you love forms your mission. Your true ikigai is that magical, ideal intersection right in the middle, where passion, profession, vocation, and mission all perfectly meet. When you hit that center, you've found the absolute sweet spot for a fulfilling life.
Okay, so how do we actually apply this day to day? Well, if you want to find your passion, you've got to actively shift your daily time investment into doing things you love, whether you're an expert at them yet or not. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean you go and immediately quit your unfulfilling day job tomorrow. Don't do that. What it means is that you intentionally carve out a little bit of time every single day to focus on building those skills you genuinely enjoy. You're basically slowly laying the foundation of your true purpose, all while managing your necessary daily duties.
All right, Section 3, the secret of long life. Let's really zero in on the Okinawan lifestyle.
So, to truly emulate the Okinawans, we have to realize that having mental purpose absolutely must be paired with physical discipline. And a massive chunk of that boils down to one simple but crucial number, 80%. This represents the ancient Okinawan rule of harahachibu. It basically means they stop eating the exact moment they feel 80% full. They never ever eat until they're completely stuffed or lethargic. This slight caloric restriction prevents cellular damage and, get this, keeps energy levels incredibly stable throughout the entire day.
And looking at the hard data behind that 80% is super revealing. To put it into perspective, Okinawans consume an average of only 1,800 to 1,900 calories a day, but within that, they're eating about 18 different types of foods daily. 30% of their daily calories come strictly from vegetables. They aim for 5 daily servings of colorful veggies. We're talking bell peppers, carrots, spinach, soybeans. It's a highly diverse, completely nutrient-dense and calorie-controlled diet that just perfectly fuels their bodies. Now, there's a fascinating cultural contrast here that really blows my mind. In Western culture, retirement is often treated as the ultimate finish line, right? You completely stop working so you can rest forever. But in Japanese culture, there literally isn't even a word for retirement. You stay active with your purpose forever, because escaping work entirely and just sitting on a couch actually rusts the body and damages your cells. Lifelong purposeful activity is exactly what breeds longevity. They just never stop contributing to the world.
So instead of just burning out and then crashing, they build their whole day around natural movement and community. I want you to imagine a routine where you ditch the elevators entirely, and instead you make it a point to walk for at least 21 minutes a day. You fuel up on whole foods rather than processed junk, and you make absolutely sure your body gets exactly 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. And during your waking hours, you're actively participating in community social activities, keeping your mind super sharp by playing with children or pets. Keeping your fingers and your body busy every single day is the ultimate secret to staying sharp.
Okay, switching gears for Section 4, logotherapy and life's purpose. Let's talk about mental resilience.
Because here's the thing, without a purpose, the mind deteriorates just as fast as the body. A lack of direction directly leads to feelings of emptiness, chronic stress, and deep depression. To combat this, we can look at a psychological framework called logotherapy. It proves that humans don't just need surface-level happiness, we deeply, biologically crave a meaningful destiny. When patients are suffering from neurosis or severe mental blocks, logotherapy steps in and focuses entirely on the future. It actively helps patients consciously discover their life's purpose as the primary mechanism for actual healing.
So, how does that therapeutic journey actually work? Well, it starts by simply acknowledging that awful feeling of inner emptiness and realizing it's actually a profound desire for meaning. From there, a therapist helps the patient consciously discover a very specific, actionable life purpose. Once they fully accept this new destiny, they can use the sheer momentum of that newfound passion to completely shatter and overcome their past mental obstacles. Purpose quite literally becomes the cure. And a huge part of maintaining that mental peace is how we tackle our everyday tasks. Multitasking? It's a total modern myth. It delays completion, completely tanks your productivity, and just causes massive overwhelm and stress. Living a long life means avoiding that stress entirely by single-tasking. Doing only one carefully chosen, slightly challenging task at a time creates a state of flow. Flow is that amazing zone where work feels totally effortless, time just melts away, and you maintain high focus and total peace. And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, the 10 Rules of Ikigai. Consider this your master guide to implementing everything we've talked about.
These core rules are just beautifully simple, and they center entirely on intentional living. Keep your body active, never truly retire from your passions, and keep your stomach only 80% full. Step away from the crazy urgency of modern life to take things slow. Surround yourself with genuinely good friends, and take the time to actually smile and connect with strangers. Reconnect with nature regularly. Practice daily gratitude for the simple fact that you are alive today. And above all else, live entirely in the present moment. Living a long, happy life is actually totally in your own hands if you adopt this simplicity.
There's this fantastic quote that perfectly sums this up. We do not create the meaning of our life, we discover it by doing what we love. Isn't that powerful? Your purpose is not something you have to magically invent out of thin air while stressing over a blank piece of paper. Actually, scratch that, it's more like an archaeology dig. It is something you uncover naturally by engaging passionately, actively, and joyfully with the world around you every single day.
Which brings us right down to the final, and definitely the most important question of all. What is your ikigai? The answer is waiting for you out there. So I challenge you, the moment this explainer ends, log off, grab a pen and some paper, and start honestly answering those 4 questions we talked about today. Find that intersection. Your long, happy, and deeply purposeful life starts exactly when you decide to begin the search. Thank you so much for learning with me today.